Hello guys, welcome back to Goal Rush where we talk all things soccer. So today with today's episode I want to look into the difference between American soccer and European football, like more specifically their grassroots structure, and I am going to do that. There we go. More specifically, like the grassroots structure and how they kind of um build their caliber of players. Um now but first, earlier this week, we saw that former U.S. Women's National Team defender, I think, World Cup winner, Olympic gold medals, 16-year career, um, Becky Sauerbrunn has announced her retirement from professional soccer. But it's really sad because she's a really great defender. Um, but also, she was like, I want it to be quieter than like a lot of the other retirements that were happening this year. That happened this year, like with Alex Morgan, Christine Sinclair. I think she wanted hers to be a lot more mellow and chill. So as we are sad to see her, I'm pretty sad at least to see her retire. I think that leaves a lot of space for like Naomi Gurma, Alana Cook, all these really good center backs to make the wave for the next generation of like defenders because she was a really good center back. So yeah. Um. So to get into today's episode, I'm gonna read a few articles here. So soccer in America versus Europe: a comparison. Football or soccer, as the Americans call it, is a sport that ignites passion worldwide. But how does the game differ across the Atlantic? This article develops into a comparison between American and European soccer. Um, so the growth of soccer in America. America is traditionally overshadowed by sports like basketball, baseball, and American football. Soccer is experiencing impressive growth, especially amongst the youth. Um, the trend contrasts with Europe and the Netherlands, where the soccer has been a long dominant sport. Um, Popularity in the U.S. is due to improved access to international soccer and the development of Major League Soccer. The MLS tracks global stars like Lionel Messi, contributing to the sport's rising popularity. And I do think the MLS, like, side note here, I think still has a long way to go, but I think they're, slowly on the up and up. Um, Soccer structure, USA versus Europe. So the setup of soccer leagues in America and Europe show a clear difference, especially in structure. In America, both in the MLS and college soccer teams are dividing into conferences, regional competitions, primarily based on geographical location, creating a unique competition dynamic. Also, with I know, like, recently, like, um, at least for the NWSL, they got rid of their college draft. Like, so don't get me wrong, there's still college players that play, and actually sign, and we've seen a few players actually, like, not out of college, but have signed with the team. So, um, distinct feature of American leagues is the absence of regulation. Instead, the season often ends with playoffs, where the top teams from different conferences compete for the championship. And that is at least a very common tradition in American soccer. In contrast, European leagues have traditional promotion and regulation system, where the lowest ranked teams at the end of the season drop to a lower division, while the top teams from the lower divisions are promoted. This approach ensures constant dynamics and excitement in the competition. Actually, I didn't even know that. I mean, it makes sense, and I think I've seen that, but I just didn't know that. These differences in league setup reflect the cultural and sporting preferences of both the countries. In America, the focus on a closed system with a spectacular conclusion, while in Europe, the emphasis is on continuous competitive climate, with consequences at the end of each season. I didn't know that. I mean, actually, that's kind of cool. You know, you get a chance to fight for the higher division or fight to keep your spot. Like, I didn't know that. Okay, so we're gonna look at the European football structure. So yeah, it is based on the European sports model or sports model pyramid structure, which used to organize why can't I talk today? Most sports in Europe. The structure of European football includes domestic league systems, club competitions, grassroots clubs, which I mostly wanted to look at like the grassroots. Grassroots clubs are important to local community and provide opportunities for people of all ages to play football. UEFA encourages grassroots clubs to focus on quality coaching, player development, and inclusion. Grassroots development. UEFA has programs to develop grassroots football, including the Playmakers program, which uses Disney storytelling to encourage girls to play football. And to be honest, I think I'm going to use that for next week's episode. I like that. I want to go more into that. Um, but we're going to look at now the U.S. grassroots. So the U.S. soccer grassroots player development framework is a simplified overview of the development pathway of U6 to U13 plus that grassroots players relate. Like the 4-game model on players' ages based on goals, key needs, key qualities, and player coach behavior. And I will say, at least getting my coaching license and my grassroots coaching license, yeah, they do really focus on like the needs of players, and especially like in today's age of player coach behavior of how our coach is talking to the athletes, um, things like that, which I think is kind of one thing I do actually like about US grassroots, what I really like about it because, they focus on like, okay, what do you need to develop? Um, so yeah. That is all I have for today's episode. So I do hope you guys enjoyed this week's episode. The French I got reinvented. And I will see you guys next week with a brand new episode. Peace.